Hey Collective, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day today. So today, we're going to discuss ghosting. Being ghosted is a uniquely painful experience. It's the sudden deafening silence, the unanswered questions that ricochet around in your mind. That feeling of being disposable, it can absolutely wreck your self-worth. It's a special kind of emotional whiplash. One minute you're connecting, sharing, and the next you're staring at a dead screen, drowning in confusion and a sense of loss that feels way out of proportion. But what if you could build a kind of psychological armor? Not to become cold or closed off, but to become so solid in your own value that when someone just disappears, it doesn't leave a dent. What if their silence couldn't touch you? It sounds like a superpower, I know, but it's a skill and you can learn it. In this video, I'm not going to hit you with a simple get over it. I'm going to show you exactly how to bulletproof yourself against the pain of ghosting. We're going to explore why it hurts so much, why people actually do it, and then I'm giving you a concrete, step-by-step plan to build an unshakable sense of self. First things first, I need you to hear this and let it sink in. The pain you feel is 100% real and 100% valid. This isn't you being too sensitive or overthinking. Ghosting triggers a measurable psychological response. Science shows that social rejection lights up the same parts in your brain that processes physical pain. Think about that. Your brain interprets that sudden, unexplained silence as a form of injury. So when you say it feels like a punch to the gut, you're not being dramatic. On a neurological level, you're right. This pain gets turned up to 11 because ghosting attacks 3 fundamental human needs. First, our need to belong. From an evolutionary perspective, being cast out of the tribe was a literal death sentence. That ancient fear is hardwired in our DNA, so when someone cuts a connection without a word, it can feel like a threat to our very survival. Second, it attacks our need for control. When someone ghosts you, they make a huge decision for you without you. You're left completely powerless, no chance to respond, ask questions, or understand. That feeling of helplessness is incredibly destabilizing. And third, it demolishes our sense of social competence. You're left replaying every interaction, every text, every joke, trying to find what you did wrong. This obsessive loop of what-ifs is your brain trying to solve a puzzle with half the pieces missing. You start to question your judgment, your personality, your fundamental worth. You start telling yourself a story that you are the problem, that you aren't enough. And that's the real danger of being ghosted. It's not just losing a person, it's the risk of losing yourself. So why do people ghost? Now that we've established the pain is real, it's time to shift our focus. The secret to bulletproofing yourself is truly understanding this one thing. Ghosting is almost never about you. It's a reflection of the ghoster's own internal world, their fears, their wounds, their hang-ups. When you can really internalize this, their silence will lose all of its power. So, why do they do it? The million-dollar question. The most common reason people give is simply a loss of interest. And that's the what, not the why. The real reasons are a lot deeper. The biggest psychological driver is a massive fear of confrontation. To put it bluntly, they're cowards. For a lot of people, the thought of having a difficult conversation, of articulating why they're not interested, and potentially hurting someone's feelings is so overwhelming that they take what they see as the easy way out: avoidance. They aren't thinking about the pain their silence will cause you. They're only thinking about avoiding their own discomfort for a few minutes. It's a strategy rooted in emotional immaturity. Attachment theory gives us another powerful clue. People with an avoidant attachment style often find emotional closeness suffocating. As a connection deepens, their internal alarms fire, and their instinct is to run for the hills to feel independent again. Ghosting is their emergency escape hatch from intimacy. And then there's the tech factor. Dating apps have unfortunately created a culture of disposability. The sheer volume of matches can turn people into profiles. You just swipe on and discard. It's easy to unmatch or delete a chat and totally forget there's a real person with real feelings on the other side of the screen. In a way, technology has made it easier to be a coward. So remember this: their silence is not a judgment on your worth. It's a confession about their character. It's about their fear, their immaturity, their issues. It's their story, not yours. If you're carrying any shame about being ghosted, let's just put that down right now. You're not alone, not even close. You're in the vast majority. Some studies show that around 74% of single people have been ghosted. For Gen Z and millennials, that number is a staggering 84%. This has become a totally normal, if shitty, part of modern social life. And it's not just dating. 1 in 2 people report being ghosted by a close friend, and it also happens with jobs too, with companies ghosting candidates all the time. We are living in an age where treating people as disposable has become terrifyingly easy. I was ghosted by someone that I knew for 26 years, someone who did me wrong. Big coward. Extremely immature and selfish. And now we both know that truth. Knowing this doesn't take the initial sting away, but it should do one crucial thing. It should obliterate the shame. Being ghosted doesn't mean you're uniquely broken or unlovable. It means you're a person trying to connect with other people in 2026. The experience is universal. The pain is individual. But the act itself says absolutely nothing special about you. So, we get the what, the why, and just how common it is. Now, let's get into the good stuff. The reason you clicked on this video. How do we build the armor? How do we take our power back and actually bulletproof ourselves? I'm going to give you 5 concrete strategies, and this isn't about building walls. It's about building a foundation of self-worth so solid that no one's silence can ever shake it again. So here we go. Step 1, accept silence as the answer. The most agonizing part of being ghosted is the missing why. Your brain craves closure, a story to make sense of it all. This craving makes you do things that only prolong the pain. Sending that one last text, making that call, checking their social media for clues. You have to fight that urge. I want you to make a radical shift in your thinking. The silence is the answer. It's not the answer you wanted or deserved, but it is the answer. The absence of communication is a message, and it's a loud one. It says, I am not willing or able to give you the respect of a conversation. It says, I lack the maturity to handle this directly. It says, I'm choosing my comfort over your feelings. Chasing them for a different answer is like begging for respect from someone who just proved that they have none to give you. We don't beg anyone for anything, and you will not get closure from them. Closure has to come from you. It comes from accepting their actions as the truth. and deciding this behavior is a deal breaker. Close the door yourself. Delete the number. Block them. This isn't an act of anger. It's an act of self-preservation. You are taking back control and giving yourself the closure they were too cowardly to provide. Step 2. Rewrite your internal narrative. When you're ghosted, your brain's default setting is self-blame. It's a weird defense mechanism. If you can figure out what you did wrong, you feel like you can prevent it next time. So you start telling yourself stories. I was too needy, or I wasn't funny enough, or I scared them off. This is the moment where you win or lose. You have to consciously reject that story. Grab a piece of paper or open the Notes app on your phone and write down the garbage story that you're telling yourself. Then cross it out and write a new one. A better one. A true one. Instead of I got ghosted because I'm not good enough, write their inability to communicate showed me we're incompatible, and I'm glad that I found that out now. Instead of what's wrong with me, ask what does this person's communication style tell me about them? This isn't about being arrogant. It's about correctly assigning responsibility. Their choice to disappear is 100% a statement about their character, not your worth. When you rewrite the story, you shift from being the victim to being the observer. You see things clearly. The experience stops being a rejection and starts being a filter. This person filtered themselves out of your life, saving you from a future with someone incapable of basic respect. That's not a loss. That's a lucky escape. Okay, let's pause because this is deep work. If this is hitting home and you want more strategies for building this kind of unshakable confidence, take a second to like and subscribe. We're building a whole community around this good stuff, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. Okay, now, step 3. Even when you know it's not your fault, it still hurts. Being kind to yourself in that moment is an act of radical self-compassion. I want you to treat yourself like you'd treat a best friend who just got ghosted. Would you tell them that they were worthless? List all of their flaws? No. You'd wrap them in a hug and tell them it's okay to be sad. You need to give yourself that same grace. Talk to yourself with kindness. Say it out loud. This sucks, and it's okay that it sucks. I'm allowed to feel disappointed. You're also grieving what could have been, and that is a real loss. Here's a powerful technique. Set a timer for your sadness. I'm serious. Give yourself 20 minutes to be miserable about it. Wallow, be angry, whatever. But when that timer goes off, you have to get up and do something that makes you feel good. Go for a run. Blast your favorite album. Call that friend that always makes you laugh. Or work on a hobby or a project. This honors your feelings without letting them hijack your entire life. Okay, step 4. Diversify your self-worth portfolio. Think about your self-worth like an investment portfolio. If you put all your money into one risky stock, you're vulnerable. If it crashes, you lose everything. But if your portfolio is diversified, stocks, bonds, real estate, a hit to one asset is just a bummer, not a catastrophe. It's the exact same with your self-esteem. If your entire sense of value is tied up in getting validation from one romantic interest, you're in a very, very risky position. When they disappear, your self-worth crashes. The way to bulletproof yourself is to diversify. Your value comes from tons of places. Invest in your friendships. Invest in your hobbies. Things that make you feel skilled and alive. Invest in your career or purpose. Things that make you proud of yourself. Completely separate from anyone else's opinion. When you have a rich, full, diversified life, validation from any one person becomes a nice to have, not a need to have. Their presence is a great bonus to your already awesome life, but their absence can't bankrupt you. When someone ghosts, it feels like a market crash and more like one stock underperforming. It's disappointing, sure, but your net worth is still solid. All right, step 5, become a proactive screener. The last step is about prevention. You can't ever totally control if someone ghosts you, but you can get way better at spotting the warning signs. This is about shifting from being a passive dater, hoping to be liked, to being a proactive screener, evaluating if this person even meets your standards. So what do you look for? Pay attention to communication patterns early on. Is it inconsistent? Do they vanish for days and then pop up with a low-effort, "Hey," or "What are you doing?" Do they avoid making solid plans? Do they dodge any real conversation about feelings or what they're looking for? Do they do small or big things that hurt you and sweep it under the rug like nothing ever happened? Or does the apology never match the size of the hurt caused? Because let's be real, this is ghosting as well. It's them ghosting your feelings, and it's also them ghosting accountability. Do you see all the different ways we're missing the signs in the relationship? These are all indicators of someone who might be conflict avoidant, or just not that serious. I suggest being direct about it. Early on, you can say something casual, like, "Hey, just so you know, I really value open communication, and I'm the kind of person who would rather hear a hard truth than be left wondering. So down the road, if you're ever not feeling it, I'd appreciate you just telling me." Men don't want to guess, and most mature men don't intentionally want to hurt feelings. So telling them up front that you're a big girl or a big boy can move things forward in a positive way. Or someone who's avoidant or immature will get weird. They might pull back, and if they do, fantastic. They've just shown you they're not what you're looking for, and you just saved yourself a ton of time and energy. This isn't being demanding. It's valuing your own need for respect. Now, I have to add one really important exception here. There are times when ghosting is not only okay, but necessary. If you're dealing with someone who is abusive, manipulative, or has repeatedly stomped all over your boundaries, cutting off all contact is not ghosting. It's an act of self-preservation. Your safety, physical and emotional, always comes first. You do not owe an explanation to someone who has proven they won't respect it. You don't owe a conversation to someone who will just use it to manipulate you later on. In those situations, silence is your shield. Disappearing is your strength. Protecting your peace and mental health is the number one priority. So please, if you're leaving a toxic situation, do not feel a shred of guilt for using silence to get to safety. Being ghosted can make you feel invisible, like your story was just deleted mid-sentence. But remember, you are the author of your own story. Someone else's poor communication skills don't get to write your ending. By accepting silence as the answer, you give yourself closure. By rewriting the narrative, you take your power back. By practicing self-love and compassion, you begin to heal. By diversifying your self-worth, you become resilient. And by becoming a proactive screener, you protect your future. Listen, you can't control if someone else chooses to be a coward, but you have absolute control over how you react. You can choose to see their disappearance not as a reflection of your worth, but as a filter, clearing the path for people who actually have the courage and character you deserve. The goal isn't to never feel the sting of rejection. The goal is to build a core of self-love so solid that when you do feel it, it's just a passing moment, not a crisis. It's a storm that passes while your foundation remains unshakable. That is what it means to be bulletproof. If this video resonated, or you gained something from it, please like and subscribe. And until next time, friends, keep healing. See ya.